Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sarah Wildey-Richmond, and I'm the professor of bassoon at the University of Texas at San Antonio, also known as UTSA, Go Runners. And I'm here to help you with the All-State Etudes for this year. So let's go ahead and get going. So Etude number 1, this is from the Mill Day Concert Studies, and it's number 7 in the book. We're going to break this down to a couple of segments just so that we can kind of pick at little things that you might need to look at along the way. First and foremost with this particular piece, if you have a thumb A flat on your bassoon, make yourself good friends with that particular fingering. It makes the technique so much easier, especially just with that opening beat of music. This will save your pinky a lot of wear and tear. If your bassoon does not have a thumb A flat, don't worry, we'll talk about some techniques that will help you to get through this. Now please do note the tempo marking. It's the dotted quarter 84 to 108. Do not push yourself to do a crazy fast tempo. This piece should feel very excited and lively and happy. It's a very bouncy, buoyant piece. If we go too fast, it's going to sound frantic and scattered, and that's the last thing that we want. So make sure that you're paying attention to your speed and make it sound beautiful. Go for beauty over speed. So I'm going to start at the beginning and I'll play for you to the downbeat of measure 32. So we're going to play a little bit of this piece and then we'll talk about some interesting things to be aware of. So in that opening, as I said, so important if you can to use your thumb A flat on some of these notes because it just makes the technique so much easier without having to drag the pinky. But what about if you don't have that thumb A flat? Well, this opening motive here, it's all very staccato, it's very separated and light, and we can use that to our advantage if you don't have that thumb A flat key. So let's talk a little bit about those staccatos and how to best facilitate those. Because if we are puffing our air for every one of those where our air column is starting and stopping, it's exhausting to play this. You're going to run out of air and it's just going to have a whole lot of intonation issues going on in here. If we're puffing our air, it's harder for us to have a more pure pitch. So what I like to think when I'm playing through this to help me with my articulation, to help me with my air support, just playing in general with things that are very staccato, is I think of the syllable tot. So we're used to saying ta when we're tonguing. That's one of the first syllables that we're taught. But if we say tot, you can hear how the T syllable, it starts and ends the sound, and you can feel this little bit of blockage of the air. So for the opening, we can think tot, 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 tot. So really, the beginning of the second note is the ending of the first. The tongue is just lingering a little bit more on the reed, and that slight lingering, that produces that little bit of space that we need in between the notes to produce a staccato. So those first two measures, I'm going to play it starting and stopping my air. We'll see how this goes. Okay, that felt really weird to me personally. I felt a little bit bouncy, my air felt unsteady. I felt like my jaw was moving a lot more too. And we know that moving our jaw, that can create some serious intonation issues, but the jaw movement was to compensate for the unsteadiness of the air that's starting and stopping overall. So now I'm going to play the first two measures thinking tot. Overall, I think that it sounds much more clear and it feels a lot easier to me. Now, this might feel a little bit strange to you to start, and that's totally okay, but give it a try. Think tot, go nice and slow, and see if that 1 helps you to get a more clear, precise sound, 2 helps you with your intonation, and 3 helps to preserve some of your air, because this piece, there are not a lot of places to breathe. So let's continue onward. We ended in measure 32, so now I'm going to start in measure 33, and we're going to go to measure 55. So in this particular cut, we need to focus on things being more lyric overall and really focus on the air. There are a lot of crescendos and decrescendos written in here compared to other sections, so really go for it. Really give as much as you can to show that musical expressivity by having these big changes in dynamic. So let's work through this next section from measure 33 to the downbeat of measure 55. So that section, much different than the previous sections. So in here, the one thing that I'd really recommend is when you're going to the high C that ties over from measure 35 into measure 36, do not let your air die down. Keep that firm air almost growing through that to the downbeat of 37 to help with some of those funky intervals in there and that last slur that sometimes the bassoon does want to bonk on just a little bit. So keep that air strong. There's always a musical solution to a technical problem. So now we're going to start with the pickups into measure 56, and we'll play to the end of the piece where we have a fermata added to the downbeat of measure 75. We're back to the same theme with the beginning with all of these staccatos that keep happening one after another. Make sure that you are using your taut tonguing to really help get through the notes, and make sure that you use your thumb A flat if you have it. So let's go ahead and hear this, remembering that as we're approaching 75, where we're adding the fermata, we can add a retard in there to help it seem like a more natural ending, a more natural landing place for the last note of this piece. As you can hear, I put in a fairly large retard at the very end of this, but also my notes got longer. So make sure that you also make proportionate your staccatos into how slow you're going. Because if we make those super pecky short as we slow down, it's going to sound a little bit awkward. So the big takeaways from this particular etude: watch your air usage to help you get through some of the slurs and that lyrical middle passage. If you have your thumb A flat, make good use of it. And for your staccatos, make sure that you're trying to do taut tonguing so that our air is more consistent and you're not puffing it to produce your staccatos, which will cause pitch issues. You'll run out of air, and just overall it usually impacts our technique. So that's etude number 1. Good luck.